Hi, I'm Emily of British Girl Bakes, and I'm going to show you how to decorate this uniquely patterned colourful cake. For this design, you'll need a frosted cake that's been chilled in the fridge for at least an hour. You'll also need acetate or parchment paper, which you wrap around the cake so it's the same circumference as the cake. You can decide if you want the pattern to be the same height as the cake, or just covering it part of the way up, or creating something like a basket around it so that it sticks up over the top. Next, we're going to prepare the pattern. I'm using candy melts, but you can use chocolate instead, and if you use white chocolate, you can tint it whatever colour you like. I'm melting these at 50% power in the microwave for 2 minutes, and then spooning them into Ziploc bags, cutting a little bit off one of the corners to squeeze it out of. I'm testing the size of the hole by squeezing a little bit out onto a spoon to check the thickness of the squiggle. I've weighed the acetate down with some objects, because it's come off a roll so it's curving up at the edges, and now I'm squeezing the colours all over the acetate, spiralling my wrist to make these circle squiggle shapes. Don't worry if your pattern goes off the edges of the acetate, because you'll leave those sections behind in a minute. Next, I'm lifting the acetate up and pressing it against the cake, wrapping it around the cake and pressing gently to secure it to the cake. I've ripped off some sellotape ready to go, and I'm using a piece to tape the end of the acetate to the beginning, so it doesn't peel off, and then putting the wrapped cake in the fridge for about 30 minutes to let the pattern set onto the cake. Meanwhile, I'm preparing the final touches, melting some orange candy melts and spreading them onto some parchment paper with an offset spatula, spreading back and forth until it's smooth, and then sliding a cutting board underneath the parchment to lift it and chill it quickly in the freezer, or you can leave it out at room temperature for about an hour. I have a bowl of very hot water and I'm dipping some cookie cutters into it and then pressing them into the orange rectangle, which has set, and the hot cookie cutters cut through it without cracking it. I'm spinning the cutter a bit to make sure it's gone all the way through, and then lifting it up, dipping it back in the hot water, and continuing to cut out more circles. When I'm finished, I'm lifting up the excess candy melts, leaving these perfect orange discs behind. To make them a bit more exciting, I'm brushing them with some of the leftover pink and yellow candy melts, using a paintbrush and painting different sections of each disc, sometimes blending the yellow and pink a bit, giving them another splash of colour and some texture. My cake has chilled and set, so now I can slowly peel off the acetate, leaving the pattern attached to the cake. There's a little bit of the pattern sticking up over here, and I'm breaking it off to keep the whole pattern the same height as the cake. And the cake looks stunning like this, but I'm going to add those little discs now. Because the cake has chilled, this buttercream is sticking instantly to the cake, and it forms a perfect glue for the little discs, so that they're cascading down one side of the cake, and putting a few standing up on top. And adding even more to the cascade, sticking them onto the discs that are already there with some more buttercream. And that's it! I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please subscribe to my channel to see new cake decorating tutorials every week and click the notification bell so you don't miss one.